Good morning, viewers and listeners of Concerned Citizens Media. Welcome back again. Nice to have you here. Today is March the 15th, 2022. I have some news update to share with you. So I will start with uh, Addis Ababa University 6 kilo news. As I reported before, the situation is still very dangerous, very tense, and the faculty, as I suggested, uh, they didn't do any credible uh, discussion or session to handle this crisis. The students are in a very terror, fearful situation. You can see it from the video I shared from one media, Habesha Unity. So you think the learning teaching environment is a war zone. It looks like a war zone, really. It's not supposed to happen, but it's happening. It's just terrorizing students and destroying the learning teaching environment. So that is the reality under this Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, and he is not going anywhere. He elected himself through the crook system as a president of Prosperity Party and vice president Demek Amakonnen and the other Somali, Farah or something, Mohammed Farah. So nothing can be improved, cannot be improved under this leadership, under Prosperity Party. A lot of infighting, corruption, and the country is also in a very, very bad shape. Violence and burning of human being alive, and so many grave human rights violations happening in that country under the leadership of this prime minister. So since he came to power 2018 and hijacked the revolution, now the country is in chaos, inflation is high, and no credible uh, plan to resolve the country's problem. But they are there, they have the power, they got the military, they got the police force, the federal, and the banking, the tank, and the bank, as some media said. So they have everything in their hand so far. Nobody can challenge them, and they put the people they trust around them. They have the National Guard. So, it will be a while before we see any change in that country. Until that happens, Ethiopia will be the land of really bloodshed and hateful among citizens. So, the Addis Ababa University, you will see the video, and is terror, is a center of terror now. The faculty, the professors couldn't handle it, and some of them even contributing to the violence, siding with the Amara student against Oromos. And also, the armed men are the Oromos, attacking the Oromos. This is horrible. That's why you cannot see a real solution in that campus. And I again suggest the professors, the faculty should focus in a teaching learning condition. They should resolve this problem, and instead of siding with one side and another side. They should be neutral and restore the teaching learning environment. I hope they will do it, but according to the report coming from Addis Ababa University, some of them siding with Amara students, inciting the violence, and also the federal forces are not neutral to the situation. They are attacking the Oromo student, and also some political parties like Balderas involved in this situation. So, these individuals, these parties should be accountable for any bloodshed happening in Addis Ababa University. But do we have a rule of law in that country? No. So nothing can happen. In Ethiopia now, people are burned alive who are living in their house or just in the field. Law in order is broken under the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, and the Prime Minister also, contributing to this, and these people are in the government uniform. They are burning human beings, but to cool it down for international community, they are saying something like, "We will handle it, we'll take care of it," but nothing happened. It happened in Oromia, nobody accounted for that. Now happened in Benishangul, nobody. So let's listen to this terrorizing video and continue to the other news. So horrible, man, very, very bad situation. I hope this person's time will be shorter. I hope so. Somebody courageous maybe take over and remove this crazy man. Really, he's a crazy man, and he don't care about the country. He don't care about the problems Ethiopians are facing, and he got some support, but he's not that much supported by Ethiopians, and freedom fighters are also closing in. Okay, let's listen to the Addis Ababa gunshots and student sound. Looks like a war zone. This is not. Looks like Addis Ababa University. You hear the sound of terror from students. She is saying that they are shooting at students, live bullet. Okay. So that is Addis Ababa University. Looks like a war zone, and as the situation is not resolved, and I hope if the university faculty members and administrations are not neutral, this this situation could be worse. They are not neutral, and also the security forces. So that is a very bad one.
Find your relief from back pain, neck pain, migraines, and more at the Joint Chiropractic.
Okay, I got a couple of videos. I'll come back to it later on. So it's really very sad under the leadership of this Prime Minister and Prosperity Party. They have, they claim they have very successful first Congress. I don't know what the success they're talking about, but yes, the system is corrupted, and they elected him president, and nothing is open and democratic for. It's all a crook system, so they can stay in power and do whatever against Ethiopians. So, and that's Addis Ababa University and the Prosperity Party for the next 4 years. The next one is about the horrific, barbaric video happened in ICD Kabele in Matakal zone in Benishangul Gumuz region. And you might already saw this video. The video was still circulating on social media, on YouTube and Facebook. And the video is showing uniform Ethiopian forces, uh, you know, burning, uh, you know, uh, Ethiopians. According to the report, these people are from Tigray region, and they are just burning them alive. Some of them killed and burned, and on a live video, some of them recording, some of them, you know, helping the fire, you know, bringing bushes and whatever they can fuel to burn them. So this is the barbaric, very brutal genocide happening under the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, with the uniform by Ethiopian uniform soldiers, army, and the militia. Some media suggest they are from Fano and Amara militia, but they have uniform anyway. They are Ethiopian soldiers in Benishangul Gumuz region, burning people alive. This practice carried out in Oromia too, by Oromia region uniform armed men against Oromos. So these barbaric, brutal conducts are coming again and again. Uh, you know, some by Fano militia, some by Oromia region forces. It's happening. It's a reality now, and the Ethiopians are accepting it. They are accepting it. No, that much, you cannot see that much outrageous action. You cannot see that much. You know, this must be the, you know, one enough cause to demand the resignation of the prime minister and the leadership. But nobody asked. Nobody asked. And the party, the prime minister, they just, yeah, we'll take care of it, we'll investigate it, and we'll, you know, uh, arrest these individuals, and they will take care of it. Nothing happened since he came to power 2018. Nobody was held accountable. So that is the new reality. That is the brutality happening under the prime minister. People are burning alive. And I think the international community should intervene instead of leaving Ethiopians to madman leadership, crazy leadership, and the failed leadership. They should intervene on the basis of humanitarian. They should intervene. The United States, European Union, they should intervene. They should, instead of condemning it, you know, instead of expressing strong condemnation, they should intervene and, you know, remove this failed leadership in Ethiopia. And the Ethiopians also, they should end their silence. I know some still support the prime minister, whatever he do, whether he lied to them, whatever type of election he conducts, and remain in power. And as long as he controls the National Guard, the military, he can be there, he can smile. Nobody can touch him because he secured himself. And people are dying. Ethiopia is suffering. Ethiopians are suffering. So I think the international community should not tolerate the burning of humans in such a way. And, they should end their silence on the basis of humanitarian case and intervene, help Ethiopians to remove this dictatorship in Ethiopia. So, it's a horrible crime happened during the war, after the war, even before the war in Oromia, in Amara region, in Tigray, now in Benishangul region repeatedly, especially those expansionist Fano and Amara militia, they are out of control, really. They are out of control. They are out of control. Next time, we will see, we might see they are roasting human body and eat. That will happen. They already said it on video. We might see, uh, roasting human flesh and might eat on live video. It will come. But before that, the worst is already happening. So please, the international community, European Union, United States, please intervene on behalf of humanity and end this this brutality happening in Oromia, in Benishangul Gumuz region, and also on Wallo Oromos. Wallo Oromos are also uh, in a very, very critical stage now. They are under Fano and Amara militia brutality. Really, nobody is helping them. Nobody. No. The federal government, the regional government, all against the Oromos in that region, in that Oromia special zone. So Wallos are suffering. I repeatedly reported on that one. They have nobody by their side. Nobody. Nobody. The government is contributing on the genocide happening in that region. The federal and the local Amara region also part of that crime. So it's a lot of things happening in Ethiopia under Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, and you know we demand, really, we demand, and we encourage also the international community to intervene before the Rwanda Burundi style genocide happening in a bigger number in Ethiopia. They should intervene. So that's it. And the other thing is OLA is also expanding its operations in different parts of Oromia. Now we are watching the advancement they are making to Ambo, the western shore. So they are closing in. Since Sunday, heavy operation is happening, and so many Prosperity Party military personnel are surrendering, and even you see some videos like TDF style, lined up Prosperity soldiers. So it's a big change. It's a big change. I hope it will fasten so we can end the system. The system should end. This system is not good for that country. It should end. They stayed too long in power. They created bloodshed in that country for the last 30 years. We don't want that system to continue. We want free and fair democratic system where the bloodshed will stop and the people, in Ethiopia love each other, at least, avoid killing each other, burning each other, sucking each other's blood, and maybe eating each other's blood, flesh. So I hope OLA operation and other freedom fighters will, in the Prosperity Party, stay in power. I hope it will happen before they finish the 4 years they are talking about. They will not give up power easily, and Prosperity Party will remain in power if doesn't feel any challenge from Ethiopians or through these armed fighters. So I hope it will happen very soon, and I hope their time will be shorter, and all these horrible, barbaric crimes we are describing and the injustice happening in that country will come to an end. I hope so, and we need the global help on this to end these atrocities. Ukraine war is still happening, and cities are burning. As I said, everything is coming. They have the resources. Even the United States helped Ukraine with big money and weapons. $200 million is already allocated for that country. But did the war stop? No. Did the country is bleeding. The country is bleeding. Russia is continuing its bombardment of all the cities. Even they have today, I think, the fourth round of talk between Russian officials and the Ukraine, but no ending sight. Nothing come out of that meeting. So all the resources coming, the money is coming, the weapons and all whatever they need is coming, but they didn't stop the war. The war still continue. Here we go. This is about this barbaric video. You will hear what Ethiopia is saying. They act like they are in control. Nobody trusts them, whatever the Ethiopian government says. Nobody. But to take that, the international attention, like a responsible government, they say something to media, but they didn't do anything for past crimes, whether the killing of Hachalu Hundessa, Abdul Jabbar Hussein, the killing of the army chief, the killing of Karayu Oromos, Abagadas, and the killing, the burning of Oromo houses while the Oromos are inside the house, the killing of the one happening now and happened in Benishangul, the killing in all the atrocities happened during the war. Nothing, nobody was accounted. So law and order is broken in that country. Even I reported that people, just regular people, released by the court system, rearrested by the prime minister's security forces again. So that's why I recommended, that's why I called upon him to resign from his post, but he refused. He's still in power, and the Ethiopians are silent, and they are not aggressive like Sudanese protesters. They are not. Despite all the problems we see in Ethiopia, Ethiopians are, the majority are still silent. So let's read. This is from Associated Press on burning of civilians alive. In Ethiopia, a video of civilians burned alive sparks anger. Ethiopian authorities say they will prosecute individuals seen in gruesome video in which armed men appear to burn at least 3 people alive. Ethiopian authorities say they will prosecute individuals seen in a gruesome video in which armed men appear to burn at least 3 people alive. The video, shared widely on social media since Friday, has sparked anger among many in this country facing war in its northern region as well as ethnic strife in other parts. The Ethiopian government communication service confirmed that the incident, in which armed men drag and then burn 3 people in civilian clothing, took place in the Guba area of the northwestern Benishangul Gumuz region. The video that circulated on social media depicts a very gruesome and inhumane act. It said, "Whatever their motive is, the government will prosecute those who committed the horrible crime." This is just for sake of releasing a statement. I know they are not uh, the party to do the investigation. They are the one involved in this crime. Authorities didn't say when the incident happened. It also was not immediately clear if any suspects had been taken into custody. The Associated Press was not able to verify the authenticity of the video. Tigrayan leaders who are fighting federal forces and their allies charged that the burning victims were ethnic Tigrans, describing the incident as barbaric in a statement on Saturday. The accused Amara expansionists and their cronies of carrying out atrocities against ethnic Tigrans living in Benishangul Gumuz. Both sides in the Tigray conflict are accused of committing rights abuses. The government-appointed Ethiopian Human Rights Commission on Friday accused Tigray forces of indiscriminately killing civilians and heavily shelling towns since August as they swept across the Amara and Afar region. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government has been struggling to contain ethnic-based attacks that spiraled out of control in recent months, especially after the Tigray War erupted in November 2020. Thousands of civilians are believed to have died in the conflict that persists in some parts of the northern Afar region. Abiy took office in 2018 with sweeping political reforms that in part led to him being awarded the Nobel Peace Prize the following year. He urged peace for all Ethiopians in assembly of the ruling party that elected him as its leader on Saturday. Yeah, that's a fake election. He elected himself. If you watch that video, you're sitting there and asking the attendees if they have anything against him. You cannot do that. You cannot do, you should have some other individuals, uh, you know, get the nomination and get the voting, and if anybody has issue to raise. But he is sitting there and asking if he's somebody from the group. It's already finished business in the closed door. That's for public stance. And even they didn't fake it correctly. They don't know how to do it. So that's a fake election, and the Ethiopians should deal with it for the next 4 years, unless a miracle or a divine intervention come to that country, come to Ethiopians, and save them from this evil man, this dictator, this dangerous man, power thirsty man, very bad man in that country. So we just pray and do whatever we can for, until the better days coming to that country. So it's horrible, and really Ethiopia needs global uh, intervention plus divine intervention to save Ethiopians from all these horrible crimes, and hate against each other in that country. Very bad one. Please, the United States, European Union, and Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, please do your thing and help us to save Ethiopia and the Ethiopians from this horrible man. And please also, whoever have this gruesome picture, gruesome video, please share with Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, even to United States President or the Senate or U.S. State Department, please share it. Share it. Let them know. I know they know, but let them have it. Let them have it. What's happening in Ethiopia under Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. Okay, this is Iran missile strike on the Kurdish region of Iraq. This is press statement. This is also terrible in the Middle East. So, Ned Price, Department spokesperson. The United States strongly condemns the missile strikes on Erbil, Iraq, last night that emanated from Iran. The strikes were an outrageous violation of Iraq's sovereignty. No U.S. facilities were damaged or personnel injured, and we have no indication the attack was directed at the United States. Iran must immediately cease its attacks, respect Iraqi sovereignty, and halt its interference in Iraq's internal affairs. The United States stands with our Iraqi partner, including the Kurdistan region, and will help our partners in the region defend themselves. So that is very strong statement from U.S. State Department against Iran's missile attack in Erbil, Kurdistan. Okay, that's all I have for today's reading. Thank you for joining me. Let's share a couple of videos and end today's presentation. One is, I think, about Ukraine. The next one is Sudan. Sudan is still protesting against the government. Very, very strong people, really. Very strong people. They are not like Ethiopians. Very strong people. Ethiopians have so many problems. They can't even buy basic foods, but they are still silent. Okay, let's see.
Reportedly slow progress on major fronts, Russia has widened its war on Ukraine. The missiles that fell on a military training center near Yavoriv in the far west killed dozens of soldiers and cadets that Russia claims were foreign-trained fighters preparing to enter the war. Just a few months ago, joint military exercises took place here, Ukrainian troops alongside allies from 14 countries. Yet now they're having to fight and die in this war, largely alone. Scores more were injured in the most devastating single attack so far, and with worrying implications for supply routes delivering humanitarian and military aid. The war has now come to western Ukraine, and with it a sense that perhaps nowhere in this country is safe. But of larger significance is the fact that not just the country...
Okay, could be satellite issue, internet. Okay, this thing is keep coming. This thing is happening for the second time. Apologies for this issue.
Of larger significance is the fact that not just the country...
Yeah. Okay, never happened like this before. I don't know what is happening.
has now come to western Ukraine, and with it a sense that perhaps nowhere in this country is safe. But of larger significance is the fact that not just the country...
Okay, apologies for this issue. I don't know what happened. Okay, let's go to the next video. Let's see if we can. Wow, this is horrible. This is horrible. Okay, apologies. Where is that? Wow.
Security forces fought.
If Rain-X premium silicone wipers survive these conditions, clearly they'll last in yours.
Don't panic if you're stuck with your math homework. Just grab your smartphone.
I'm trying again. Apologies.
Homework help?
Making
Let me see.
reportedly slow progress on major fronts, Russia has widened its war on Ukraine. The missiles that fell on a military training center near Yavoriv in the far west killed dozens, soldiers and cadets that Russia claims were foreign-trained fighters preparing to enter the war. Just a few months ago, joint military exercises took place here, Ukrainian troops alongside allies from 14 countries. Yet now they're having to fight and die in this war, largely alone. Scores more were injured in the most devastating single attack so far, and with worrying implications for supply routes delivering humanitarian and military aid. The war has now come to western Ukraine, and with it a sense that perhaps nowhere in this country is safe. But of larger significance is the fact that not just the country's main supply routes are now vulnerable, not just the main avenues of escape for hundreds of thousands of refugees have now become vulnerable, but the fact that the war has now come within 20 kilometers or so of a NATO border. In Yavoriv on Sunday morning, Anna woke to the sound of explosions.
I thought someone was breaking into the house. We went outside and the whole sky was red.
We met Anna at a fuel stop. Her pregnant daughter, a niece and her grandchild in the car, making a dash for the Polish border.
At home, my sick father, a husband and a brother-in-law stayed behind. I would pick up arm myself and fight, but we have to save our children.
And once again calls for NATO to intervene to enforce a no-fly zone over Ukraine.
Rockets have fallen 10 kilometers from the border with Europe. Tomorrow they may fall 10 kilometers on the other side in Poland, where our wives and children are now. I call on Europe. Save yourselves. Save us. Because tomorrow it will be too late.
But NATO continues to have no appetite to confront Russia directly as the war grinds on. In cities like Chernihiv in the north. Steady nerves required here to remove an unwelcome delivery through someone's front window. Civilians, those brave or desperate enough to attempt escape, continue to leave areas close to Kyiv like Irpin, where an American journalist was killed when he and a colleague were fired on by Russian forces. And no respite yet again for Mariupol. Satellite images show swathes of destruction in the southern city, besieged for 2 weeks, the life being strangled out of it, an aid convoy once again prevented from entering. There is one constant, the inexhaustible morale-boosting, Russia-defying presence of a comedian who once played the role of president on TV, now handing out medals and giving the performance of his life. Jonah Hull, Al Jazeera, Yavoriv.
USP-verified Nature-Made vitamins are independently tested for quality. That's why I recommend Nature-Made.
Security forces fired bullets and tear gas canisters Monday in an attempt to disperse thousands of Sudanese protesters against military rule and inflation, which has been worsening since the October coup. Since the coup of General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan on October 25, Sudan has lost its international aid and is now caught in the throat by the rise in prices of grain and oil due to the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. On Sunday, the price of bread rose between $7 to $10. Any price increase or removal of state subsidies on basic goods is sensitive in Sudan, where in 2018, the rival that toppled the long-term ruler Omar al-Bashir the following year was born of a government decision to triple the price of bread. The country only emerged in 2020 from decades of US sanctions, and its 45 million inhabitants have to deal with inflation exceeding 300% every month and non-existent infrastructure.
Okay, so that's the last video. So these Sudanese protesters never went back, never settled, still protesting on the street of Khartoum and other cities. Never give up. Very strong, very dedicated people, really. And just she's talking about the price of one item, one basic item, the price of bread. What is happening in Ethiopia? What is really happening in Ethiopia? People are burning alive on a video. Many illegal activities, corruption, inflation, the price of oil, the price of bread, the price of everything. Not one item. But Ethiopians still silent. Silent. I don't know how long, but for the last, since 2018, things are going very bad, sliding back, and horrible human rights violations under this prime minister and this party, Prosperity Party in Ethiopia. So I don't know when they're gonna end their silence. They are incapable of buying any basic food. Nothing can match with their earning or their salary, but are still silent, and people are burned alive. Very horrible crime, gruesome videos circulating on social media, and the people are tolerating. And Fano Amara militia are crossing into Oromia region, crossing into Benishangul Gumuz region. So these governors, these Prosperity Party officials, nobody held them accountable, whether in Benishangul, whether in Oromia region, or whether in Amara region, or whether in the central government. Nobody accountable. People dying, people are suffering in Ethiopia, and nobody held accountable. So many injustice in that country. I hope, you know, the international communities, Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, the United States, European Union will do something before we see genocide, serious genocide coming to Ethiopia. They don't have to wait until people eat each other in that country. Horrible, horrible, very bad, very bad. And nobody control this armed militia, especially the Fanos and the Amara militia, especially. So I hope the situation in Addis Ababa will settle. It looks like a war zone. I hope it will settle, and professors and school administrators and also these armed federal forces be fair, treat the university as like a teaching learning university. Don't take side and to create bloodshed. And the Balderas and Balderas supporters praise out of this equation. Out. Do your politics in somewhere else. Don't create chaos, death, and destruction in the learning teaching environment. That's all I'm gonna say for today. I will be back with other news and other updates. So apologies for the video, the internet issue. So please, you can escape that area and listen to the other parts. So thank you again. Comment, share, like, subscribe to my channel. Be safe and so long.